Well, what is going on YouTube? Welcome back to A Therapeutic Edge. Today on the table in front of us is, well, nothing yet. You see, every year around this time, all sorts of channels do their best of 2021. And I don't really do those. But this year, I decided I was going to do my top 10 sort of favorite knives that came out this year. These are not knives that I think are the best for you. They may not even be the best knives. They're the ones that either surprised me or that I enjoyed the most or that stuck with me the longest. That's really what this is. This is my sort of top 10 plus a couple of things to add on, folding knives of the year. They aren't in any particular order. Again, these are just sort of my favorites from the year, stuff that jumped out at me and jumped out at me as being, well, excellent in their own way. And that excellence could just be that they really appealed to me. I don't expect you guys to like everything that I like. So let's take a look. First and foremost is something that I got very early in the year. And it has stayed just a personal favorite. This is the Benchmade, well, it turns out that it's called the Atomos. If you ask the maker, Siebert, but everyone else calls it the Atomos. I'll probably call it the Atomos until I die. This is the new one. This is in crew wear. This is an excellent pocket knife. Well made, durable as hell, great materials. This thing has still got the original edge on it. Look, this is a great pocket knife. This is the first knife that I looked at this year and thought this may be the knife of the year. Now, I know a lot of people prefer the mini, the small one, but this monster knife is just everything I love in a pocket knife. And so that's the first one. This is the Benchmade. Yes, I'm telling you, Siebert calls it the Atomos, but you and I are going to call it the Atomos. That is the first knife that really jumped out at me this year. And so that is the first knife that I'm going to put on the table. These are not in order of time. These are just knives that I looked at and thought, yeah, that really made a difference to me. The next knife that jumps out at me is also from very early in the year. In fact, the prototypes came out at the end of last year, but this didn't drop until this year. This is the Knives DX2, and I love this knife. I just do. I loved it when I got it. It is a very, very nice hollow grind. It is well made, exceptionally comfortable in hand. Now, this is one of those knives that will not be for everyone because of this giant flipper tab back here, but I don't care. This is just such a good cutter. This is one of those knives that when I am reaching for into my collection of knives to grab something that I know is not only going to ride the pocket very well because it's so thin, but just do a fantastic job of cutting whatever I point it at. The DX2 here is absolutely a knife that I have loved since I got it. It has survived many a purge and continues to be a favorite, enough so that I got a custom version of this sort of middle of the year. This is a great pocket knife. That would be number 2. The third knife is a very recent addition, and it is completely budget friendly, but it has rapidly become my favorite sort of budget knife of the year. This is the Sativian ST119. It is D2. It is the shape of this blade. These are $27, something crazy like that. It is very comfortable, very slicey. I knew the minute I got out of the box that I was going to sort of love it, and I do. It is, well, it's just everything I love in a budget-friendly knife. This is a great pocket knife. And so this is in my top 10 for the year, even though it just landed. Sativian, in fact, is probably the budget knife company of the year for me. They are just slaying it over there on Amazon. I blame Bees Blades entirely for my fascination, but God, this thing is good. So that would be next is the ST119. Next is something that is considerably the other direction. This It's a very expensive knife. This is the Terrain 365 P38. This is a fantastic and yet ridiculously expensive knife. This is in their Terravantium steel. It is a dual action automatic, which means as long as you use it like an automatic, it works like one. But if you just use the thumb studs, it disengages the automatic and now it's just a flipper. This is a wonderful tool. Well made, really well executed. All of the Terrain 365 stuff would be a knife of the year if it had come out this year. But this is from this year, and this is very cool. These are about 500 bucks. So as I said, real opposite end of the spectrum from our friend over here, the Sativian. But God, this is a great knife. Interesting, well made. That's very cool. Number 5 on the list is from our friends at Three Rivers Manufacturing. This is the TRM Shadow. It's got schmutz on it. I use this knife all the time. The folks at TRM produce excellent knives. Of that is no question. They are damn hard to get, and that is a real struggle. This one was a gift from Women Carry Knives, from my wonderful wife to me. It's just a fantastic knife. The tolerances are absurd. It is very, very slicey. Their River Lock, which is a version of the Axis Lock here, is excellently made. This is all American made. It is beautiful. It is very good at what it does, which is cutting. Now, there is a full tie version of this out there floating around. They release 1 or 2 here and there. Will I get one? Yeah, I'd love to, but I'll never get one. They're impossible. So this is number 5 of my best knives of 2021. This is a great knife. 6 is a surprise, at least to me. It is a Civivi. Actually, I have a couple of Civivis on the table right now, which is even more of a surprise. But this came out early this year. This is the Keen Nader. And it's just not I get it. It's not a knife for everybody. But remember, these aren't the best knives for everybody. These are my favorites. So when this thing hit the market, I knew that I was really going to be into it, and I am. It's just very good. I love the recurve. I love the hollow grind. I have a thing for this kind of compound grind, though. You guys know that. This is a $100 knife that feels like a $250 knife. It really does. Everything about this knife just comes together perfectly. Sorry about that. My animals are going crazy. Anyway, the Keen Nader. This knife just spoke to me. When very little else from Civivi did over the last year, except for one other piece, which I'll show you in a second. It's N690. It's just a great pocket knife. And it manages to be both interesting and not ridiculously expensive. And I'm telling you, I've got knives that cost $300, $400, $500, $600, and this thing feels like a very expensive knife, even though they managed to get it to market without breaking the bank. It remains a favorite. It really does. The next knife is also a Civivi. This is a knife that really changed my mind on small knives. This is the Baby Banter. And this is a great pocket knife. I don't love the Banter. Sorry, Ben. But the Baby Banter, this is just a fantastic tiny little carry. The Nitro V steel, the way that it's put together, the fit and finish, it really did change my mind about small knives in a lot of ways. And it remains, even though, for some reason I can't flip it right now. Let's try that again. There we go. This is a great knife. This is actually, I don't really have a best knife of the year, but for biggest surprise and sort of most fun, the Baby Banter is definitely in there. So that would be 7. Number 8 is the Megaron Velona. This is part of the new sort of budget line from Megaron Knives, and I just love the size of this thing. I love the DC53 steel. I love the tie clip. Sam over at Megaron has released a whole bunch of really great sort of budget knives. This thing is fantastic. It is big, it is gorgeous, and it's just an excellent cutter. You know, these are what, 40 bucks? For $40, this is so much knife, and it's just, every time I'm like going somewhere where I need, you know, I want something nice, but I don't want to worry about, you know, the price of it, because that's true. You know, you put a $500 knife in your pocket, you're going to worry about it when you carry it. At least I have to, because that's my reality. This thing offers design and excellent cutting. Look, this is just a great knife. So the Velona is number 8. The ninth in my list of favorite knives from 2021, if you will, is the Artisan from Artisan. This Cerberus design, I just love the way this thing came together. Now, they make a version of this in micarta. This is the full tie version. I got this at Blade Show West this year. Chris over at Cerberus first is a super nice guy. I really like him quite a bit, and I really love what he put together here. His aesthetic is very nice. The knife is done very well. It is very thin, very slicey, easy to carry. There is, I'm not sure it's going to come out in my crappy camera, but there's wonderful micro milling on the titanium. The S35 VN blade has held an edge beautifully. Of course, I mean, look, it's Artisan. It's what they do. Artisan does a great job. This would be my number 9 of my top knives of the year. And finally, something that came out very recently. This, of course, is the Forus, designed by the channel and my personal good friend, Dylan Mallory. It is made by Artisan, but it is not an Artisan. It is, well, I mean, it's made by them, but it is all branded Mallory designs. The Forus was fun to watch because I watched Dylan, who has designed many knives for Civivi and Artisan and a couple other companies, really put himself into this design. And when it landed, because I never even saw a prototype, I was just thrilled to discover that not only does the design look good, but this is an excellent carry and an excellent cutter. Some of Dylan's designs tend to be a little too small for my hand, but the Forus is just an excellent handful of knife. So there you have it, right? Nothing shocking, I'm sure, for those of you that know me. These are my favorite knives of 2021. Some of them are still available. You can get the Banter, the Artisan, you can get the Nader, you certainly get the Sativian, you can get the Atomos or Atomos. You can get a P38 if you're willing to spend that kind of money. Some of them are a little harder to come by. The Forus, it was a small batch and is sold out. The TRM Shadow is damn near impossible to get, but worth it if you can. The Alien Knives was a Kickstarter that is gone. It's just how it went. Although you can get the MIDI, the smaller version of this now. It's been a great year for knives. It has. It's been interesting and fun. I have a couple of others, stuff that really sort of stood out. First, and I'm just going to use this as the example, everything by Damn Designs. Everything. The guy has produced 7, 8, 10 knives this year, released 10 knives this year. All of them have been fundamentally amazing. This is the XL Gin, just dropped. Adrian over at Damn Designs is killing it. Now, they didn't make my 10 best of the year because I like every single thing in his catalog at this point, including these big, giant, funky front flippers. This is a great knife. So this is a best in show, as it were. I have 2 fixed blades that I want to show you guys. The first is from our friend Anthony over at Tactical Everyday Dad. This is the Kodiak. This has rapidly become one of my favorite knives this year. This is 1095. There's a review of this on the channel. 1095 high carbon. It is 5 inches of just fantastic knifery. This is wonderful, right? Let's give us a little more room here, shall we? There we go. How'd we do? There. A little more room. And then finally is another fixed blade. This just landed, but everything I've had from this guy has been amazing. This is the Papa Bear Knives Hunter EDC. Alan over at Papa Bear Knives makes fantastic custom fixed blades. This one happens to be a Nitro V. I have not done a review of this yet, but I will. These are my two standout fixed blades of the year, for sure. And they just dropped, but God, they're good. You can get one of these, and you can get one of these right now. And that's sort of, yeah, there's just never enough room, is there? So these are my favorite knives. Now, these aren't my favorite knives that I got in 2021. I got some classics, stuff like the Unamzon and a fantastic Kaiser knife that it's got to be 4 years old now, which is the Gunhammer. Older knives still deserve your attention, but if you want to talk about stuff that dropped this year, these are my favorites. We'll go through them one more time. The Benchmade Atomos, or Atomos, if you're Siebert. If you're looking for a knife that will absolutely do everything you want it to and survive the wild and woolly wilderness of the outdoors, that is absolutely a tool to grab. The Alien Knives DX2, a fantastic slicer in S35 VN, carbon fiber and titanium. God, that's a great knife. In the budget-friendly department, and I mean budget-friendly, is the Sativian ST119 or 119. D2 running on bearings, G10 steel liners. This is such a great knife for $25, $26, whatever it is. This, or maybe it's 28. I don't know. You cannot beat this with a stick. And the shape of this thing, this is a fantastic everyday carry. The ridiculously priced but very, very cool Terrain 365 P38. Just a marvelous bit of engineering. Very expensive, but very fun to use. Snappy when you need it, and manual when you don't need an automatic. Just a fun, excellent knife. Super happy to have that in the collection. The TRM Shadow. Excellent, excellent knife. Come on. CPM 20 CV, all American made. The fit and finish on this thing is ridiculous. This is a wonderful tool. The Savini Keen Nader. An excellent knife with kind of a silly name. Budget-friendly in the $100 range, but still budget-friendly. Excellent materials. And again, this, of all these knives, this one feels like it should cost way more than it does. The Baby Banter. The knife that changed my perception of small knives. This is an excellent knife. The Megaron Velona, just a big, beefy, budget-friendly cutter in DC53. Comfortable, well-made. This knife made my list, A, because it's a great knife, B, because it's reasonably priced, and C, because this is, watching a maker lean into this sort of budget stuff and do a really good job is always fun and exciting. And boy, I'll tell you, Sam over at Megaron Knives is killing it with these. The Orion from Artisan, just an excellent design. Totally worth your time. There's a mini version of this that's out now. I don't have one handy, but boy, I'll tell you, it is. Women Carry Knives loves it, so this is a little too big for you. Don't be afraid to look into one of those. And of course, the Forest by our friend, by our friend Dylan Mallory. Yeah, this is a great knife. And then the sort of best in show tools, right? The Papa Bear Knives, all of his stuff, but this one in particular. The Hunter's EDC, the Anthony designed, the Tactical Everyday designed Kodiak. Come on, look at this thing. It's fantastic. And then, of course, just everything by Adrian over at Damn Designs. I love knives. I really do. And I hope it comes through. I love fixed blades and folders. I love everything about them. I love how complicated they are and yet sort of simple at the same time. It's been a great night. It's been a great year for knives. It really has. If I had to pick one of these as my personal knife of the year, I don't know if I could do it. But I think I will, actually. I'll pick one. My knife of the year, the knife that surprised me the most and actually changed the way I look at knives and has been sort of the most fun, really, it's it's the baby Banter. I should have, you guys know my taste in knives. I should have hated this thing, but I don't. The minute it landed in my hand, Women Carry Knives got one, and the minute this little thing landed in my hand, I knew that I had to recalculate and sort of recalibrate what I thought about small knives. And that says a lot. Excellent steel, well made. I mean, it's not really any better than the rest of these, or it's just different, but this is the one that would get my vote for the most surprising maybe of the year. So it gets my vote for the best of the year. And there you have it. This is my list, my top 10 plus 3 of knives of the year. I hope you guys have enjoyed this look at what I have enjoyed throughout the year. I look forward to 2022 and 23 and 24 and all of the cool and exciting stuff that will drop. I hope you have enjoyed your year in knives. I know I have. Thank you so much for being part of the channel, for sharing all of this craziness with me. It means the world to me. I hope to see you guys weekly, 2-3 times a week as we move through 2022 and of course in the lives. Thank you so much for watching. Happy New Year, everyone. We'll see you in 2022. Take care.